How's it going, guys? Panther Films here, and today we're going to be reacting to Season 1, Episode 2 of The Last of Us. This episode is titled Infected. But yeah, last episode was pretty fucking great. We had a sinister opening with like the foreshadowing of what the cordyceps could do and the fungus could do. And then we got to see a day in the life of Sarah Miller and her family, Joel and Tommy. And then everything went to shit. The neighbours turned into zombies, or infected, and then Sarah was killed by the military. And she died in Joel's arms. And then we skipped 20 years. We're now in Boston, a QZ, with Joel basically being a smuggler with Tess. And Joel wants to find Tommy, because he's in Wyoming and they haven't talked in a while, and he's trying to keep a radio on so he knows if Tommy's contacted him or not. And he's trying to get a car battery to get to Tommy, and he needs Robert's help for that, but Robert decided to try to sell the car battery to the Fireflies, which is led by Marlene, who is keeping a little girl called Ellie locked away. And basically, a firefight ensues that we don't actually see on screen. Robert dies, Tess and Joel find the aftermath, and then they basically take Ellie from Marlene because she's been wounded. And then at the end of the episode, Joel, Tess, and Ellie escape the QZ, but they were stopped by a guy that Joel smuggled for, one of the guards, and he started scanning them to see if they were infected. And then when he got to Ellie, Ellie stabbed him. Turns out Ellie is actually infected because she was bitten. But before that, Joel beat the shit out of that guard and probably killed him because he was aiming a gun at Ellie and him, which gave him a flashback to Sarah. Even though I think it would have been better to leave that till later. They're not connected right now. It's a little bit too early for that, right? Maybe later on in the season it could work. Not right now, in my opinion. And now Joel, Tess, and Ellie are on the run from the Federal soldiers, and they're going into the very dark, brutal world that awaits them. So that basically covers everything. So let's stop dilly-dallying around with this shitty intro and get right into the fucking episode. September 24th, 2003. Well, in 2 days, in Indonesia, it spreads from Indonesia to fucking Austin? Huh? To be fair though, like, wasn't there like a news report last episode talking about Indonesia? Is she like a government official, maybe?
Apakah saya ada berbuat suatu kesalahan?
Tidak, tentu saja tidak.
So someone's probably infected and they want her opinion on it, right? I mean, she's not going to take... I was about to say, she's not going to take her glasses off.
Ini opio cordyceps.
Kami gunakan sebagai persiapan pengambilan sampel dari tubuh manusia, Bu Ratna.
Cordyceps tidak bisa bertahan pada manusia.
It can now. I like that we're seeing this. Like, we're getting more into, like, the pre-outbreak decision-making. And we're actually seeing, you know, like, people that are infected. And going more in depth with that side of things. Bullet to the brain. Oh, is that the fungus? It's gonna be like the fucking tentacle things, the tendrils or whatever. Ugh. Jesus.
Di pabrik tepung dan gabah di barat kota.
Flour. So that is how it spread.
Telah menjadi keharusan sesuai dengan prosedur. Mereka harus tetap hidup.
Yeah, whoever bit us probably still out there.
Pekerja yang lain bagaimana?
14 orang hilang. Dia untuk membantukan.
You can't. It's literally impossible. It's too late. There is no cure.
Tidak ada obat.
Yet again, kind of just ruining the point of the whole premise of the show.
Bom.
Jesus.
Mulailah pengoboman. Maaf, Pak. Apa ada yang bisa antar saya pulang? Makan suami dan anak-anak saya.
Fucking hell, dude. That's 2 intros right off the bat that have been brutal. Bum 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 bum. Are they sleeping in the fucking tilted buildings? Why would you sleep in there? Yeah, there it is. Directed by Neil Druckmann. I'm waiting for it to turn.
What was Marlene doing with an infected kid?
I'm not infected.
In here.
What?
Tear out a few pages.
Oh.
Okay.
Is it?
Maybe a hairline. It's gonna happen sooner or later.
It won't.
We sneak her back into the QZ, we find a different way to get the battery.
This is our best shot. You hungry?
Ugh. Why does it seem so dry?
There's a Firefly base camp somewhere out west.
I've heard this before.
And whatever happened to me is
Is the key to finding the vaccine. That's what this is. This isn't gonna end well, Tess. We need to go back.
I mean, we know just based off like the past 2 intros for the episodes that there is no cure.
If she so much as twitches.
Don't.
It's kind of crazy how different Joel becomes.
Can I have a gun?
No.
Absolutely not.
Okay, Jesus, fine. I'll throw a fucking sandwich at them.
I mean, Sandwich could do a bit of damage. Also, Joel's got the assault rifle, which you don't get until the end of the game. We'll see how beautiful and green the world looks. Oh wow, we're here at day. In the game, we go through them tilted buildings at night. That looks good. You can't even tell that's CG, but you know it is. Like, HBO, man. It's what fucking Walking Dead should have been on. They literally said, like, Walking Dead was too violent to be on HBO. And then they made Game of Thrones. Like, what?
Is this where they bombed?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to slow the spread somehow.
Which we set up in the intro. And in the game, you can find, like, a note talking about the bombings and stuff.
Long way or short way?
I mean, it's the long way or the we're fucking dead way.
Well, I vote long way, just based on that limited information.
Check it from the hotel first.
The hotel? No. We're not going in the basement already. Not here. I love it. I just love the aesthetic of this, like, universe. Oh, the draft!
So it was just you in there alone?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Nobody's gonna be coming after you, right? Like mom, dad.
No.
Aren't super infected that explode fungus spores on you?
Shit, I hope not.
Spores?
Or ones with split open heads that see in the dark like bats?
So they talked about the spores. So there could still be spores out there, just in the very, like, dark and damp places. I love how quiet it is. What? Ducks? A frog? Oh. Why would you go through here?
You ever stay in a place like this?
No, a little out of our league.
Wait, so they are doing the hotel this early?
Well, I don't know how to swim.
Seriously?
Do you think we have pools in the QC?
No, smart ass. I mean,
I don't know how.
I mean, there could still be, like, a deep spot. You never know.
Ding, ding. Yes, sir. I would like your finest sweet, please. Fine.
you're a weird kid.
You're a weird kid.
Oh. Oh, already bonding. Wow, even the backpacks from the game.
Well, when the fuck did that happen?
I mean, the weather probably doesn't help either.
Well, I mean, maybe I could climb up there, work my way around.
Yeah, great. Joel's stuck with her.
Good.
Knife.
Nice knife.
Nice gun.
Where are you from?
Texas, yeah.
What about Tess?
Detroit.
Did we know that from the game? I think we did.
How long do infected live?
Oh, I thought you went to school.
It's a really shitty one.
Well, some last about a month or two.
Really?
Never kill one.
Yeah.
Killed lots of them.
He killed one on, like, the first day. Whoa. Jesus. What are they doing? Ah, they don't like the sun.
We're connected.
More than you know.
Huh. Or the tendrils, I guess.
Also, step on a patch of cordyceps in one place, and you can wake a dozen infected from somewhere else. I'm trying to keep you alive.
They're definitely setting that up to happen later on. They're going to step on the tendrils, or whatever, the hive mind thing.
Museum.
Oh god. Not the museum did. Well, that's like legit from the game, kind of. Look at all the cordyceps. Why'd you do that?
Could mean they're all finally dead in there. Marlene packing one of these, or just sandwiches?
Yeah, I have a spare hand.
Congratulations.
They're gonna step on the fungus, aren't they? Why would you set that up? Fucking museum, dude. Oh, Jesus. That's recent.
Maybe he was attacked outside.
Who would you hear?
Shut the fuck up.
We are silent. Not quiet. Silent.
We're playing ungrounded now. Still though, this must be so surreal for the game developers to see these environments brought to life. Be quiet as the fucking staircase creaks. Remember when you were a kid and you tried to sneak downstairs to get something? And the stairs just creak. I think a clicker just took a massive shit. See, this is why I like the TV show version, because you can have more tension building up. In the game you can kind of have it, but it's all up to the player, you know? The player can make it more tense for themselves, right? If it's higher difficulty or whatever. But with the show, you don't know what's going to happen. See, I do kind of like this, though. It's a shame, like, this wasn't in the games. I don't know how it would have worked. It also feels like it kind of was in the games, because there's moments in the games where, like, a herd just kind of fucking runs at you out of nowhere. Like, they're all connected sometimes. Maybe for part 3. Oh. Hey, at least we didn't get split up like the fucking game, where I had to get through the museum on my own with Joel. Fuck that. Oh. Run. Shit. Oh. There it is. Watch out though, it might do its echolocation thing. There's 2 of them. They've nailed them. It just did its echolocation thing, didn't it? Oh! Jesus Christ! Joel! Hey, Joel, you need a shiv. Or get a brick or something. This is literally just 2 clickers. I mean, it's exactly like the game, though. Is that CG? Reload faster. You need to upgrade. Oh my god. Yeah, that kind of looks CG. I can't tell if it's a mix between CG and practical. Fuck. Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah, that's definitely practical there. So it is a mix. Oof. Oh, he's dead, Joel. He just wasted all your bullets. Yes. Jesus, that was just 2 of them. Imagine if there was like 6. I mean, they weren't that bad in the game. You just have to shoot one in the head once and then just throw a brick at it or some shit. Did she get bit again?
I mean, if it was gonna happen to one of us. That was scary. This is wood.
Probably more ahead.
So we'll deal with it then.
Maybe the first bite didn't take. But what about the second?
How about you just take the good news? I think for once, maybe we can actually win. Just go and watch her.
God damn it, dude. Already?
Is it everything you hoped for?
Jury's still out.
But you can't deny that view.
But man, you can't deny that view.
Looks at his watch. That scene was straight up from the game. Even the fucking Capitol building looks like it's from the game. Interesting that she got bit again. That's straight up from the game. What the fuck? Why are they showing his feet? Is he gonna step on something? What?
What the fuck is going on?
I don't know. Tess.
Come on.
Tess!
Enough with the stealth, let's just go straight in. Did they turn or did they get shot?
Who killed them? Vedra?
One of them got bit.
Oh.
The healthy ones fought the sick ones. Everyone lost. Tess?
Jesus.
Joel, can you help me?
No! Tess! It's over.
I'm staying.
Our luck had to run out sooner or later.
I mean, our luck had to run out sooner or later.
She's infected.
I think that hit harder in the game. Is it there? Yeah. How? When? In the game, though, you could see the exact moment she got bit.
Take your bandage off.
They got bit around the same time. Oh,
I
she's
need you to get her to Bill and Frank's.
she's
Take
shaking.
her off your...
Oh, fuck!
Oh, great. Shit. That's fucking terrifying. Like, holy shit. They coming.
How many?
All of them. Maybe a minute.
What's she doing? Sacrifice. Grenades? Jesus, they're already here. That was exactly a minute, I think. You've got the grenades, just use the grenade. Maybe that won't work though. Wait, what? Why are they running past her? Is it because she's infected they don't rip her apart? What the fuck? Jesus. Bye, Tess. Yep. In The Last of Us, don't get attached. What the fuck? Hey, why are they playing Last of Us 2 music? Hey, it's too early for that. What the fuck? It's too early for that. What the fuck? What are you doing? Damn, Anna Torv fucking nailed it as Tessa. I mean, once they got into the museum, Tessa's fate was sealed, pretty much. Because that is where she gets bit in the game, too. However, in the game, like I said in the reaction, you can actually see her get bit. In the show, they did it off screen, which might be better, but I don't know when it would have happened. I guess when that one clicker chased her. I don't know. But yeah, another fucking solid episode. With a lot more added to it than the game. You know, you have the tendril stuff, like setting up the hive mind shit, where the infected, like if you step on something, they all come chasing you from a mile away. Like the Indonesia stuff at the beginning of the episode. Even though I don't think that did a lot, it just really set up the tone even more for this episode, I think, with the bombing. Like the government would go to any lengths to stop this from spreading, you know? But yeah, the tendril shit is very interesting. And I'm curious if they will add it into the third game, because fungus evolves, right? So maybe in certain areas of America, in Last of Us Part 3, might be affected by the tendril stuff. But yeah, I mean, if we want to do comparisons from the game to the show, the museum in the game is a little bit different. There's more infected in there. There's at least like 4 clickers in the museum in the game. In the show they only did 2, but 2 was a lot, apparently. I guess the canon for the show, or for the game too, is to fail stealth and just start shooting, but then completely miss every shot. But yeah, I mean, it is really hard to fuck up the story for this show. Like, all the elements from this episode were from the game. Like going into the hotel and Ellie like dinging the bell, that's from the game, I think. Her asking like, have you ever stayed in a place like this, that's from the game. The dialogue with Ellie and Joel on the roof, like you can't deny that view, that's from the game. Even the shots were from the game. So I think Neil did a great job of adapting the game in live action, because this is his first like directorial debut on TV. Now, I love how similar it is to the game, but at the same time they change it up a little bit to surprise the gaming audience. So, for example, Tess's death is very different in the game compared to the show. In the game, it's a very similar scene with Joel and Ellie and Tess talking as she reveals that she's infected and stuff, but it's a sacrifice that's a little bit different. In the show, she deals with infected and takes them all out in a blaze of glory, even though she gets kissed by an infected, which is kind of sus, not gonna lie, and very different from the game. But in the game, she takes out like 2 Fedra soldiers and she dies off screen. I mean, she dies off screen here too, but we know she takes out more infected in the show compared to the game. And even in the game, she barely takes out that many infected because her AI is absolute arse. And also, like, the weird thing about Tess in the game too is that she always like double tapped like the infected or enemies in the game. It was weird. Like Robert, she killed Robert in the game and she double tapped him. She went bang bang, and then she double tapped a clicker later on when we were going through like the towers that have like tilted. Obviously we didn't do that in the show, which is kind of a missed opportunity, to be honest, because I like that section, because that's where you first see the clickers, and they set them up really well in that scene, because it's like you go through the like the building, right, and it's like tilted a little bit, and then you see like a clicker stuck to the door, and then you kind of get the exposition dump of like, okay, they see using echolocation, like bats, and then you end up seeing one. And then eventually you end up seeing more in the subway, and then you end up seeing even more in the museum. And this is only the 3rd stage of infected. I can't tell if the one that like kissed Tess, or whatever the fuck it was doing, was a stalker or not. I won't get into details about it, just in case, like, you know, people don't know what a stalker is. But it kind of looked like a stalker with the way the fungus was coming off them. Or maybe it was just a normal infected runner. Now, I am enjoying Bella Ramsey as Ellie, but I need to see even more of her. You know, I want her to be like a focus of an episode or something like that, so we can actually like explore more of her character. I do kind of like how when they were walking on like that highway, and Ellie talked about like the spores, kind of seeding the fact that there may be spores somewhere out there. It's likely. I mean, it is a fungus. Also, it can evolve too, you know? So there could be spores, like, next season in certain areas. Who knows? Because the tendril concept, I think, is very interesting. And it would work really well with the game, but like, it'd have to be obvious visually that it's, oh, if you step on that, you're going to alert everyone. But I don't think you really need that, though, because, like, on Grounded, the game's already fucking difficult, you know? If you start, like, walking a little bit, everything gets fucking alerted to your position. So, I guess it doesn't really matter that much for the game. It would be an interesting concept for the multiplayer version of the game, because it's probably going to be a massive map, and if you go into a building, step on something, you alert all the infected within the area. I think that would be very cool for the multiplayer game, and hell, even some of the players too. Because imagine if you were another player and you see all the infected run into one building, you'd be like, oh shit, there's a player in there. It'd be cool as fuck. They won't do that though, because that's too much effort. I do find it funny though when like Joel's fighting the clicker off compared to the game where you can't do that at all. Like as soon as the clicker gets close to you, you're dead. Because the only way to kill a clicker in the game is a shiv, or like throw a brick at one or a bottle at one and then hit them with like the melee weapon, and that's it. In the show, they don't give a fuck. Also, Ellie getting bitten in the museum is different, but it makes sense as to why they did it, to solidify the fact that yes, she's immune, because Tess was bitten around the same time Ellie was, and Tess's infection is worse. But wasn't it obvious, or like said last episode on one of the signs, that depending on where you're bitten, it can spread faster, right? And it can look worse than what it actually is. Also, the beginning of the episode where the scientist said, bomb, just bomb the city. It's fucked. But it's what they did in the game, and it's clearly what they did in Boston to stop the infection from spreading. Didn't help much because the world still crumbled. It really does piss me off that The Walking Dead couldn't get this treatment, because The Walking Dead could have been on HBO and it probably would still be going, and it would be even more successful than what it was, because it'd have the budget, they can do bigger scale shit with it, and you know, with a bigger budget they can get better writers, and less episodes in a season would be better, because then that means less filler. I mean, this show only has 9 episodes, with the episodes being long too. Like, imagine if Walking Dead episodes were like over an hour long. I mean, there's some that are, but like the majority being over an hour long would be great, or 50 minutes would have been great. And it's just, it really pisses me off, man. Because the only thing that stayed consistent in The Walking Dead was the acting and maybe the music. Yeah, I'd say the music too. Other than that, that was it. The writing was all over the place with Walking Dead, especially in the later seasons. Except Season 9. Season 9 was good. It's so annoying that The Walking Dead could have just been picked up by HBO. But they didn't do it because it was too violent, or would be too violent, which makes no fucking sense. Because then they greenlight Game of Thrones. Like, what? I do like the use of the music in the show. Obviously, a lot of it is from the game. A lot of it is new music too. There's some that's a little bit new. Mainly like just the quiet moments. And the ending decided to drop Last of Us 2 music. Bit too early for that show. Maybe next season, but I also think that theme is dedicated to a certain character too. So, kind of weird that they're using it now. Because I don't think like Last of Us 2 music fits the themes of the first game. But yeah, another great episode. Really cool to see Neil take the helm for this one. I think he did a good job directing this episode. Some of the shots were straight up from the game. And I love just the vibrant look of the show. And it's like that in the game too, with just the nature overtaking. I love it. It's such a cool aesthetic. So yeah, that basically wraps up the shitty review. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Ta-ta and farewell.